Roll call.
Mr. Jackson.
Present.
Ms. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Purdy.
Here.
Ms. O'Brien.
Present.
Ms. Wesley.
Present.
Dr. Fowler. Mr. Downs.
Here.
You have your quorum, sir.
Thank you. Yes, everybody's public knows this is the meeting where we do nothing. This is the meeting where we do nothing except set the agenda for what we will discuss at the next week. Board members, I want you all to know I received an email from Superintendent Borisov that she's on educational leave this week. And so she will not be here tonight. So moving on to placement of items on the agenda for July 17th, regular board meeting. Can I have a motion to place items 1.1, 1.2A, 1.2B, D, and E on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Can we have a vote on that?
I got discussion.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Hander.
Okay, you said A through,
No, A, B, D, and E.
okay, you didn't get to F. When you get to F, I got discussion.
Okay. I thought there would be an F.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Ms. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Purdy.
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien.
I'm gonna abstain.
Ms. Wesley.
Yes.
Mr. Downs.
Not voting.
Not voting. Okay. Motion passes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm going to do things a little different here. I'm going to start with on items 1.2F, the superintendent's report. I know that Mr. Jackson has an item he would like the superintendent to report on, so I'd like to request, and we can go down the line here with board members, if they have items they want the superintendent to report on at the meeting, please state them now. Start, Ms. O'Brien.
Well, I guess I have a question. Well, maybe it should be an agenda item. The superintendent has made it clear that the superintendent does not work for the SLPS Board of Education and does not honor the SLPS Board of Education. So, do we remove the superintendent's report? Or better yet, why don't we ask the superintendent to give the board a letter, the SLPS board, a letter stating who she is working for and who she is honoring an agreement with? Does that get the question? And can that be a request of the
We can
superintendent?
request the superintendent.
Yeah, why don't we
Letter
request
is-
her to do that for the next meeting?
Right. Mr. Jackson, you had an item you wanted reported on?
I would like to request the superintendent provide an executive summary or a strategic plan for the CSIP plan for the district. And that's showing the progress of the CSIP.
And now, we have, there's an item under new business 3 that I think you'd placed there. Would you like that under the superintendent's report?
Yes.
Okay, that is a report from the administration on the procedures for handling allegations of staff abuse of students. Is that the correct
Yes.
one? Okay. Ms. Jones, do you have anything?
Yes, I wanted a report from the superintendent on who she has assigned for the upcoming year for the food service contract for the district, since we had agreed upon that. And I also wanted to have a report on the supplies that the district currently holds. That's it.
Ms. Wesley? Well, let me go through once, then I'll come back, okay? Ms. Wesley?
I'd like a report from the administration on how they plan to handle excessive heat emergencies, since we're starting on August 20th this year and many of our children are still in unair-conditioned buildings.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes, I have quite a number of them, and so let me, please be patient with me.
Now, you have them written down, I mean, you
have
can
them.
read them, but what,
I do want to read them, but I have them
but then
in
you can
writing.
hand it to Wanda, so
I
she can
have
fill
them
it.
in writing, and I'll share them with anyone here, the board members, or anyone out in the audience who would want them. First of all, I would like to have information on and the identification of those employees who received layoff notices and the rationale behind selecting them, and also I would like to see an administrative organization chart that involves the many changes that have been made. Also, I would like to have, and I think the board would like to have, any plans for any future layoffs, if there are any that are scheduled. I would also like to have a detailed report and evaluation on the effectiveness of the Employee Early Retirement Incentive Program. Did it work? Give us a status report on that. I would like to have a report on the progress of and the repairs to Metro High. That's the building that was damaged because of the fire. And also including in that status report on the moves of the various programs that are to be moved from one building to another over the summer. The Bunch program, for example, moving to Madison. Where are we with that? Are they doing that? And also status report on the major repairs and renovations such as the air conditioning projects. How are we doing with that? Are they online? Also, a status report on textbooks and supplies that this board approved some time ago. I want to make certain that those books that we approved and we expect to be in the hands of the students, that they are in fact in the schools and that they're being delivered. Ms. Jones mentioned a minute ago, and I want to emphasize as well, the status report that the board voted to do an RFP on food services. Is that being done? Is it out there on the streets? When is some kind of resolution going to be made? Also, I'd like to have a report on the enrollment projections in general for the district and the prospective number of empty seats in our magnet schools, which has of course been a problem with empty seats in magnet schools. And also an estimated number of students now, as we're closer to the beginning of the school year, the number of students who are projected to go to charter schools. Also a report on the property sales that were previously approved by the board. Where are we with that? I would like a report on teacher and administrative staffing. Are the teachers in place in the schools? And do we have principals now assigned in our schools? Also, the superintendent's schedule to meet with the board to develop and review the superintendent's evaluation for the last school year, which is a responsibility of this board. Continuing, this board has many times opposed split classes in the schools, such as combining kindergarten and first grade into one class. I think it would be helpful, at least to me, to know what plans there are for split classes. I hope there aren't any this year. What is the status of the new gifted high school at McKinley that we've heard so much about? Is that on schedule? Is that going to take place? And finally, I understand that some 7 or 8, a number of our employees made a trip to Harvard University. I'd like to know who authorized that, who paid for it, and a report on what that group learned by their experience in going on this trip to Harvard University. So those are 13 specific requests that I would like to have a report on at the meeting. Thank you.
All right. Ms. O'Brien.
I think he pretty much covered my follow-up question, comment on Ms. Jones about the food service contract bids, because I think it was to go out for bid, and I don't know that we ever got a report back on that. The other is apparently people did go on a trip, numerous people, and I guess the superintendent is on the trip with the SAB board or whoever went, and she's on educational leave. What is educational leave, and does the district pay those individuals when they're off on educational leave? Next week. Yeah, we
put
had a
those questions next week, yes.
superintendent can come here and tell us about that.
Is there a motion to accept?
I have one last
No.
item.
Ms.
We
Jones.
talked about a back-to-school fair, And I would like to know the status of that and what the plans are that have been developed.
Okay, so now, is there a motion to, I guess, inform the superintendent of all these requests and ask that they be part of the superintendent's report, put them on the superintendent's report next week?
I so move.
I second that.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Wesley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item 1.2G, the President's Report. I think you all have a draft of that. There are a couple additions that I want to put on there. Aside from the draft, I think Ms. Penrose has mailed to everybody suggestions for meeting dates for this fiscal year. And in addition, there's a request from the Council of Urban Boards of Education, CUE, that we participate in a parent survey they're doing on school climate. They've done a student survey, this is middle school and high school students, and a teacher and administrator survey. And for the third part, they want to add a parent survey. All those will be explained next week. Well, let's just do 1.2G. Is there a motion to add all the items of 1.2G onto the agenda? Go ahead.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
May I ask a question? Are we going to add the Q request on there? So it would be item number 7.
already on
Is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
That's all right.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Wesley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, it's a little guidance here. Do you want to take the new business items one at a time or just approve them all as a group? Number III has been moved into the superintendent's report, so there'd be 4 of them instead of 5.
I would move approval of all of those items in bank.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Is that Mr. Jackson that seconded?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Wesley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Finally, we have information requests and announcements. And then the meeting would adjourn. We have a motion to add those to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Wesley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Wait, Peter.
No, I'm sorry, Ms. Weston?
Oh, before we adjourn, I just think it would be nice for us to take a moment and remember that we lost a student this week, Alexis Purdy from Carlane, and I would like us to take a moment of silence to remember our young student and her family.
Excellent suggestion. Let's do that. Thank you, Ms. Weston. That's an excellent suggestion. Is there a motion to adjourn? Not in the administrative meeting. Want to move to adjourn?
Yes. So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Unless you want to let Ray talk.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
All right.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Wesley?